how much influence does Harley-Davidson Motor Company have over the dealerships? Let's get into it. RevelatorAlf. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So I was made aware of a situation recently. Now, whether this happened in the past, I'm not sure exactly on the time frame here, but where Harley-Davidson Motor Company were kind of employing strong-arm tactics over a dealership to make them do something in a certain way, or buy certain motorcycles, that kind of thing. And then since I had that bit of information, I had quite a few other stories come my way as well. So I wanted to address this in a kind of video to say, well, actually, how much influence do they have over the dealerships? Because I'm not even sure myself. I always knew that Harley-Davidson dealerships were kind of franchises. They had to act in a certain way, especially when Harley-Davidson changed their direction quite a few years ago, and they started saying, okay, well, you're going to have bigger stores, we're going to try and get rid of the independents or not support the independent workshops or dealers, that kind of thing. We're going to have bigger dealerships, and they're all going to follow in a certain kind of way. So 2 or 3 years ago, I interviewed one of the guys from the local dealership when he was employed there, and he basically confirmed that the dealership has to go by a certain design feature. A lot of it has to come via Harley-Davidson themselves. So I was aware that there were restrictions in how the dealership could be set up. Obviously, being a kind of dealership or a franchise, let's say, for the motorcycle company, there's obviously going to have to be some kind of practices which they have to employ that is in line with the way the company wants it to be run, as it were. So yes, there's always going to be a lot of influence from the motorcycle company. There's sympathy, I suppose, for some dealerships in the way sometimes they get a bad press, or they get a lot of resentments thrown their way, and people think that I'm throwing a lot of resentment their way, but I always make this clear as well, that my experience with my local dealership has always been a positive one. Actually, I've never had a particular issue with them, but I know other people have, and other people have had experiences or bad experiences with other dealerships, but conversely, they've had also very positive experiences as well. As I say, it's never always bad and it's never always good. There's always a bit of a mixture in between. But I also know there's a big difference between one dealership and the next, how they operate, and this usually comes down to the way the dealership principle works, the way the individuals work and their personalities, so on and so forth. So whilst there must be some kind of direction from the motorcycle company, there's also got to be a lot of variability within the dealership themselves, and that's based upon the people who are working there directly. Right, so I think we could all agree on that. So if you work at a dealership, or you have worked in a dealership, it would be fantastic if you could let us know in the comments below how this relationship works. Is it as closely linked as sometimes we're led to believe? Is it very dictatorial from the motorcycle company? They're saying you must have these motorcycles, you must sell X, Y, and Z. Do they favour certain dealerships over another? I believe that they do. Do they favour certain dealerships in the US, let's say, than over in Europe, let's say, or the rest of the world? Yeah, I'm sure there might be a little bit of that, but I don't have any evidence to support that. But it does appear that the American dealerships do get first pickings before the rest of the world. And also, certain dealerships within the US seem to get ahead of the rest of the pack, as it were. So there's got to be some kind of favouritism there. There's got to be some dealerships where they see as very important for the market, or in terms of sales, let's say. So there's got to be some kind of awareness from the motorcycle company that some dealerships will work better than others. Some will toe the line a lot more rather than others who may be still operating with a more independent spirit, let's say. But when certain dealerships are forced to act in a certain way, or even forced to close down, or forced to sell their stock, and they can't sell it to another dealership, they have to sell it to this dealership, let's say, or they're forced to not employ certain people anymore, I just wonder, is this actually happening? Is this a reality, or is this kind of Chinese whispers that we hear and we think, I'm not sure, I don't have any evidence to back this up? So let us know in the comments below, please, if you know if this actually happens, or it's a load of nonsense. It doesn't happen. It's purely just anti-propaganda against the dealerships or against the motorcycle company. As I say, I have a bit of sympathy, or a lot of sympathy, for dealerships sometimes, because I know they can deal with people like us, you know, the motorcycling buying public, let's say, who you know, can be quite demanding, or we have a problem and they have to fix it, or we demand they fix it. So they are the coalface, as it were, for all our frustrations. And sometimes, you know, sometimes they can help, sometimes their hands are tied behind their back because they're having to follow the guidelines or follow the procedures set by Harley-Davidson, especially with warranty claims and so on and so forth. I've had lots of discussions with people from the dealership saying about the process of a warranty claim and what they can claim and what they can't claim. And it's actually quite interesting to, you know, scratch beneath the surface a little bit. Now, those guys who are actually working at the dealerships, well, they're the ones who are really going to know how it works. The dealer principals, they're the ones who know how it really works, and possibly they're not allowed to speak to us and tell us exactly how it works behind the scenes. I know you'll get a lot of YouTubers who would, you know, film within dealerships, let's say, but they're not really going to divulge that relationship with the motorcycle company and give us all the nuts and bolts and how many restrictions there are, or what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. So it'd be really interesting to hear from people who actually work in dealerships now, or in confidence, or in comments below, or ex-employees, to let us know exactly, you know, are strong arm tactics being employed? Do dealerships really have to toe the line for being in fear of losing their franchise, let's say, being kicked out of a dealership? They can't sell Harleys anymore, whatever the case may be. I mean, let us know in the comments below here, but how much money do you think the dealerships are making from selling Harley-Davidson motorcycles and all the merchandise? You know, because they are very restricted. They can only sell that product, let's say. However, local dealership near me, they do sell other motorcycles or used motorcycles that are taken in trade, and they also have other dealerships of other branded motorcycles as well. So, you know, as a group, they can sell other motorcycles as well. So I don't fully understand how a motorcycle company can be so strong arm, where I know of a 1 or 2 or 3 dealerships that I know of, they're kind of free to do as they please in many ways. So let us know your thoughts, and let us know what you've heard. I mean, is it as bad as some people say, or, you know, is there a little bit more to this? But anyway, so open for discussion, let's say that. Hope you found that useful. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share. Check out the website, RevelatorAlf.com, and I'll catch you again. Ta-da.